Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
UFC 327 back in Miami, Florida. Prochazka versus Alberg. A fun main event for the title. Interesting one to see how this one will go. The card is fairly deep, guys. I wouldn't say any big time fights that have, implications for title shots or anything like that. But some fun fights. We'll talk about all of them here shortly. Link.me/system capping for client opportunities. Learn how to beat the sports books long term, guys. Right? Anyone could beat the sports book for a week or two. Learn how to beat them throughout the year in any sport that we handicap. So UFC, PGA, every weekly, we handicap both NHL and NBA playoffs. We will be handicapping. We stayed away from the regular season. Playoffs, I will be handicapping at low volume. And in the World Cup, we have a ton of success in the international soccer market. So we will be handicapping the World Cup this year. Can't wait for that. We'll be doing some podcasts as well. Like this video if you're watching on YouTube. Comment, share, do all that fun stuff. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, please review, share. It does help out a ton. Great way to support the system if you don't want to be a client and profit long term. Masters week, big week. Just watched a lot of that. I'm doing this podcast a little later on Thursday. So I've been watching some of the Masters, been keeping busy. Fun start. Tough start for some big name golfers. But the cut should be around +4, +3. So lots of room to get better throughout the week for some guys. Let's do a Vegas 115 recap. Yes, they are still at the Apex, still calling them Vegas 115, guys. We had a 1-in-1 card personally for myself. Hit a nice bet, though, on Tommy McMillan +265 by knockout. Ton of value there. I actually gave it on the podcast if you guys tailed it. It was a client bet. Ton of value there. You knew they were going to go in and bar fight and just scrap, right? Tommy McMillan's trying to make a name. He's not a boring fighter. He just goes in, scraps, very durable. He does have a good submission game. I did say the submission very likely was a favorite. It was a favorite how the fight was going to finish was by submission. But I expected a scrap. That's what we got. Great value there at +265. Mistake by the books. That's what we're great at, finding plus money mistakes by the sports books. I stayed away from the main event. Hats off to Moicano. I mentioned on the podcast there was value on him. I just didn't pull the trigger on either side. Stayed away from the fight completely. And there's a couple of reasons, right? I always mention to you guys resume. That's why I say, let's look at this guy's resume. Let's look at this guy's resume. That was a clear resume type of fight, right? Duncan really hasn't beaten anyone great, guys. All mid-tier, lower-tier guys stepped up in resume to fight Moicano. Moicano's been there, done that, and it showed. So that was just a classic resume advantage fight and win by Moicano. Duncan, not as good as people thought he could be. And that's how it played out. That's why I always talk about the resume. Now, it's not going to be the only thing I talk about. It's not the only thing. When I make a bet for clients, I look for minimum 3-4 points that I really like. Anything more than that, 5, things, you're getting close to best bet territory. We did miss out on over 2.5 rounds in the Ewing fight. A little surprised there that there was a finish. But hey, Ewing, legit, guys, legit. Can't wait to see what he does in this division. Let's get into these breakdowns, guys. Let's get into them. We're going to talk 6 fights here. Starting with the main event, and it's obviously Prochazka -120 versus Alberg +100. Fairly even throughout the week. A little money's coming on Yuri across the board here. I'm not surprised. I do have this as a very even, close fight, but I am going to lean Prochazka in this main event. Don't love it. Not going to be heavily invested in it, but I'll tell you why. A couple things. He's about to have a daughter. That's one thing. So he did mention that he feels more dangerous now. Is fighting for the daughter. More experience than Alberg in these big fights. Much better resume advantage. The only thing that I'm concerned about, obviously Alberg, a very technical and sound striker, and we have seen Prohaska's defense struggle at times. So Alberg could catch Prohaska with a big shot. It's possible. We've seen Alberg do it before, so that is live to happen in this fight, right? So that's why I can't go all in here. I do believe Alberg could win multiple ways too, right? It could be by a finish, but it also could be by decision. One thing here I have to mention, Yuri never been to the judges. This is a 5-round fight, but he's never been to the judges' scorecards, guys. Keep that in mind. So it's highly likely we see a finish in this fight. Again, though, how Alberg fights, he's very sound. The defense is good. He kind of makes you lulled into playing his striking game. And if it does, it could go 5 rounds. I think Yuri's going to have to make this ugly. He's going to have to make this more of a brawl. We've seen him do that before, and we've seen him succeed. However, he's going to have to watch Alberg's power. That comes back. That's the problem, right? Similar size here. Both guys are about 6'4". Yuri does have a small reach advantage. Volume is both fairly similar. Alberg's a little higher at 6.5 compared to Yuri's 5.6. I expect the fight mainly to play out on the feet. If we do see any grappling, I don't think we will. If we do, maybe Yuri tries to grapple against the cage, kind of control him there. But both guys are, like I mentioned, similar size. I think they have similar wrestling credentials. I don't think there's a drastic difference between either one there. But on the feet, how is Alberg going to handle the awkwardness striking of Prohaska? He hasn't never seen anyone like him. That's always something to always mention when you're betting a Prohaska fight. You really aren't sure 100% how the opponent's going to handle his awkwardness, right? Some guys do great. Instance, Pereira, kickboxing background. Alberg, kickboxing background. Keep that in mind. So, yeah. Tough fight to handicap. The line tells you that. It's pretty much a pick 'em. I'm going to lean Prohaska for podcast purposes. It hasn't made my client card. If it does, it'll be for a smaller unit. And yeah, I could see a finish in this fight. I don't see it going all 5 rounds. Co-main. What do we have here? It's the Russian, yep. Miroskhanov, minus 205 versus Costa, plus 170. Now, a couple things here. I like the Russian, but Costa's coming up to 205 here. So that's one thing why we're seeing this bigger price, somewhere short notice. The Russian, lots of power, right? 12 knockouts, 3 straight finishes in the UFC, 16-0 record overall. You know, the play is going to be the Russian, but minus 205 is not appealing, right? That's the thing. Not appealing. To back him at this price here. And it's hard to determine an outcome here. I can't say, 4 straight knockouts for the Russian. Last time Costa was knocked out was 2020 against Izzy. And if I recall, it was like a crazy elbow. So keep that in mind. I think Costa's fairly durable. I think this could be a somewhat competitive fight where that Costa plus 170 will show some value at the end. But Miroskhanov, cool, calm, and collective, heavy hands. I expect them to get the win here. Hard to call an outcome, though. I'm having trouble finding an outcome here. So that will be the play. The Russian, again, the price I'm not in love with. Blades, minus 130 versus Hawkett, plus 110. Now, I'm kind of, this one I've been going back and forth. I'll tell you why. One, I want to see Hawkett get knocked out. I don't really like his antics. I don't know if you guys have been watching his videos and his behind-the-scenes issues with Yuri and him pretending to be the Hulk. It's pretty cheesy, guys, right? I know it could maybe, some fans could like it, but he's not really like promoting well, I guess you know what? He's promoting the fight for him to be the villain and him to get knocked out. So I can't really say that. But Blades, is he going to knock him out? No. He's not a good striker, and he wants to wrestle, but Hawkett's a college wrestler. So I think there's actually value at plus 110 on Hawkett to win this fight. The question is, the opponents that he's been fighting have been just absolutely garbage. Right? He's not ranked. This is a big step up. So how good really is he? Go back to the Duncan McConnell fight. Resume advantage. Blades fought everybody. But if you look at the matchup and the statistics, I don't really see where Blades has any success. Hockett, I think, could win due to his pressure, but he's not really a clean striker. He does seem fairly durable, and he can wrestle. So I don't think Blades can take him down and have success. I think Hockett can maybe even take him down. So Blades is not the better striker. I don't even believe he's the better wrestler. Hockett is the much better athlete. Remember, he played in the NFL, guys, right? Cup of coffee in the NFL, but still played the NFL. He's an athletic guy. So yeah, Hockett plus 110 would be the only way I could look. I'd hate the guy though, and I hope Blades knocks him out. But for podcast purposes and for betting purposes, Hockett plus 110 is hard to stay off. But you always have that factor. Is this guy just talking? Is he just shown to be good because he beat some trash guys? Time will tell, right? Resume advantage. If you're going to bet Hockett, do it for a smaller unit here. Reyes minus 140 versus Walker plus 120, 120. This is a fun fight. Fun fight. Should be a finish. I'd be surprised if this one went 3 rounds. Favorite play in this fight. Both guys are chinny. Both guys have power. Both guys come forward. Both guys want to finish the fight. They already were talking about it. Walker said, this fight's not going to the judges. I'm going in to finish this fight. So someone's getting finished. Who is it going to be? And you're flipping coins, right? You're flipping coins when you know how the fight's going to be. Both guys coming forward and throwing big shots. I have Reyes as the better boxer, better defense. Walker's defense is very poor. What is it, 45%? Yeah, I'm not saying Reyes is great either, 49%, but it's a little better. And he has a boxing style. He has some power. He could hurt Walker. Walker, I just saw a video actually from Johnny Walker. He got knocked out in a boxing fight against some like young amateur guy. So guys, again, not confident in this fight, but I'm going to play Reyes here for podcast purposes. It's just hard to back anyone in this fight when you know how the fight's going to be, guys. They're going to come out swinging, looking for finishes. So, I'm going to lean Reyes because I think he is a little more durable, has a better defense and a better boxing, but Walker's a wild guy. He could land a spinning elbow. He could land something crazy and really hurt Reyes. Reyes is not that durable. He's coming off a first round finish against Alberg. Very good, of course, but the finish coming to a fight after a finish is never a great thing. So you got to see how Reyes is going to bounce back there. He did have that nice stretch of 3 wins in a row, but very, lower level guy. So how good were those wins really, right? Let's see how he does here. Lean is Reyes, not in love with it. Probably won't make my betting card this week at all for clients. Couple more fights we'll talk about here, and it's Cub Swanson minus 110 versus Landwehr minus 110. I liked Cub when he was plus money, right? He was like, this opened, I see Swanson was like plus 110, and then some money came on him. Line has been moving. It's tough, right? This fight. Both guys obviously ended their career, right? Obviously, we know Cub Swanson. This is his retirement fight, guys. Now, I usually don't like to bet retirement fights against a good opponent, a fairly good opponent at least, right? A couple of weeks ago, it was Chiesa versus Price. That's an okay fight to bet, right? On Chiesa because Price is just terrible. And he got finished early. This is a little tough. This is more of a flip of a coin. So you have Cub Swanson now 42 years old. Landwehr, I think he's kind of diminished over the years now, Landwehr. His chin, not the best right now. Back-to-back knockout. So I think Swanson could catch him. I think he can catch him something also with a submission. Swanson has multiple ways, I think, winning this fight. I think Landwehr has slowed down a lot recently. And yes, Cub Swanson, obviously the older guy here, but I think he goes out on his shield. I think he goes out, wins this fight to end his career. Again, if I do bet it's smaller unit, again, the price is telling you this is almost a flip of a coin fight, guys. Right? I don't like to flip coins and bet fights, but I like to try to find a path and way they do it. Now, very tough to call an outcome here. How's the fight going to finish? Not too sure. I expect both guys to be coming forward and striking and landing big shots, but we'll definitely see what happens here. I like Cub Swanson to get it done. My cat's been annoying today. Shut up, buddy. Holy shit. Cats, dogs, all over the place. So sometimes it could be a little stressful when you're doing the podcast in your home office. Let's talk about the last one here. Pitbull plus 260 versus Pico minus 330. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's a battle of Bellator. Failure in the UFC. These two. Pitbull at least got a win. He got a win in his last fight, but tough start against Rodriguez. Pico, we all know what happened, right? We know what happened in the Murphy spinning elbow. I thought he was going to have success with the wrestling there, but he was able to get caught by Murphy with that crazy knockout, one of the better knockouts you will see. I think Pico wins this fight. It's just the price, right? Minus 330. Very difficult to get to at minus 330. I do think he should win this fight with his wrestling. Striking, I think both guys are, fairly average. But Pico chain wrestle, especially coming off that loss. I think he learned something here. I think Pitbull's kind of, on the back nine of his career. Both guys kind of are, but Pitbull slowed down. You can see in some of his fights here. He's not going to be able to wrestle Pico where he likes to have some success. I think Pitbull is good if he's wrestling, right? He was able to do it against Danny. It was a good win, but he was able to wrestle. Here, he's not going to be able to. So that's why I think Pico wins this fight. It's just how do you bet it? Lean decision. I don't really see a finish in this fight, but I do expect Pico to get his hand raised. Minus 330, though, guys. Yikes. Tough to back. I think this is ending the prelims, to be honest. I don't think they do 6 fights on the main card. I could be wrong this week, but Pico's the play. Again, try to get creative, maybe decision here on an outcome, improve that price. Pico minus 330 is the play. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Got to go back to watching the Masters. Big week, right? UFC card here, Masters, and obviously other sports going on. Like I always say, guys, bet smart, know your limits. Enjoy this card.